Good morning. Somehow or another, this has become a Thursday, and it is froggy, as they say. We'll show you radar here in just a moment as you're waking up. Make sure to plan ahead before you leave home. Give yourself about 10 extra minutes where you're going. Fog can slow things down. We want you to get there safely. That's most important today as we begin this. Sunshine with portions of today. We'll get to a high in the mid-80s is what we've got. When we first came into the studio around 3 this morning, we were getting predictions of a lot of rain. That's backed off to a 20% chance of rain now. A few changes there. This could change the possibility of that severe weather that they were putting out. 20% is a huge drop on that. And I think somebody got that forecast wrong. Remember when we were saying 7 inches of rain over a couple? Well, that was wrong. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. We had 1 day of rain, and it did not rain 7 inches. So that's as being as honest as it can be told. We'll be right back as we get this day underway. Let's go to Collinsville. Let's get a good word. Brother Paul has a message for us.
When you think about the word obedience, it's a word that doesn't sit well in our ever-changing American culture. It used to be something that was one of the bedrock biblical principles that helped shape our homes, our schools, our workplaces, our communities, and even our churches. Now it's been diluted to the point where it's often equated with legalism or just another one of those antiquated ideas. In ancient Jewish culture, obedience was more than just an idea. It was an expectation that came with the laws that were given to the people by God. Whenever God gave a command, it would come with the expectation to obey. And when the people obeyed, there would be blessing. And when they disobeyed, there would be consequences. In the first century church, the expectation carried over. Believers were expected to obey what they knew God would have them do. And they would do this not so they could earn favor with God or earn His grace. They obeyed out of their love for God and their desire to honor Him. Instruction for the early church came from the apostles, and they were established as the earthly leaders of the church, and those in the church would follow their teachings as the apostles were led by the Holy Spirit. As the people obeyed, it would bring great joy to the apostles. Paul said in 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 4, "We have confidence in the Lord that you are doing and will continue to do the things we commanded." Those commands came from God, and following those commands served to make the church strong. May it be the same for us today. Obeying for the right reasons still honors God. Let's search for what God has said and be faithful to obey. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that message. Always good. As I mentioned, we've got fog, and when I tell you we've got fog, let's just look at radar. This is what let's go ahead and use the word horrendous this morning. Look at this in western and south Lauderdale County here. Look at this all the way from the city limits equipment to the northern portion of Lauderdale County as we look at this. And this is going to, let's put on some locations where you can see this. All the way over to the Red Goat there in Hickory. Look at that. All the way back, taking as far north as Last Chance Tobacco, up Highway 19 to Collinsville. It's going to be hard to see that intersection there out near West Lauderdale High School. This will be very thick all the way out to the Ag Center. Still heavy fog out 19 now, but we've got extremely heavy fog all the way down to Jay's Taxidermy as we look at this. This is a level 3, this is a level 2, and that's a level 1. And it's a lot. And I bring up Highway 19. That is a very busy Highway 19 south as you're headed toward Bama. That is a very, very bad road, let me put it that way. 2-lane. You can't see well. Y'all be careful in those areas there. We got a lot of other 4 lanes that are still tough to get across when we've got this, but please be careful this morning. Watch those school buses. They are rolling as well as we've got so much fog in the area. We want you safe wherever you're going. Diane, good morning there. Jeff Lewis is up and at 'em, doing well. I see Frog is up. Miss Becky and so many others up as well. Thank y'all so much for joining us. As we begin today, we'll have your forecast and all the details coming up. We have a, where was this at? Windy City, let's see here. Corruption charges, whoa. Let's see, where is she from? Well, I didn't get the exact city here. Boston, that's it. Boston, y'all know where that is, where they had that tea party not all that long ago. We had one of their city council members, Tanya Anderson. She has pleaded guilty to public corruption charges, accepting over $7,000 in kickbacks from staff members for city-funded bonus. She's going to be headed to jail for 1 year and 1 day. Can't take those bribes. We got issues like that going on in Jackson, Mississippi now, to where they're investigating. I don't think anybody knows how that's going to end in Jackson, but the same thing. We got corruption all across the U.S. right now. I don't know if you paid attention to this because so many people don't watch the regular news anymore, nor care their narratives. But CBS, one of their anchors referred to choosing the Pope as raw dogging. It did not set well with Christians. I'll leave it at that, but New York Post reporting on that, it just didn't go over all that well. And again, not that many people know about it, and I'm probably bringing more light to it than I should have, even repeating it. So few people watch that anymore. Let's see what else we've got this morning. Did y'all know they took down the statue of Thomas Jefferson in New York from City Hall? Thought I would bring that up. Let's see, Pete Hegseth says he's going to cut 20% when it comes to the number of senior generals in the U.S. of A. Thinks it's a good idea. As we look at other things, a record number of this, and this is why he's stepping back. Tesla. They've got, did I say it right? No, I didn't.
But it's okay.
What? Tesla? No. Tesla. Boy, that name, I'm telling you. Why don't they just change the name of the company where I can say it? The big T company. They got way too many cars. Have y'all been paying attention to this? Not as many people buying them due to, well, he's getting a lot of protest at this point. They've got over 10,000 of those Cybertrucks stockpiled. No one buying at this point in time. Again, I'm not big on electric, and I passed one of those electric Mustangs yesterday. Have y'all seen those? Not the traditional Mustang that you go, whoo, that looks good. But it's electric, and they say they go good. So there you have it. If you want one, they're out there. It is hard to imagine, and I don't quite understand all of this, but when you go to search for something, I think 90% of the people probably go, well, Google it. You know what I'm talking about. You type it in. They say that AI is going to affect that business before long, the way you search for things on the internet. Again, I don't know enough about AI yet to give you an educated yes on this, but they say it's going to affect all of that before long. Amtrak cutting 450 positions, and it will save the company $100 million a year. Ooh, that's a lot. Somebody was getting paid good, didn't they? That's Amtrak. We have cutbacks on that. Finally, after long-awaited election, North Carolina is where we are. Jefferson Griffin, he's the Republican candidate there. It was a few votes away. He has finally conceded after months of legal battles. There was a few votes separating him and the Democrat person. He has conceded, and she is now the winner. It's the way the Supreme Court and lawmakers justify the votes that could be counted. Democrat takes the seat now. I know that there is limitations of when you can sue someone. Generally, it's 3 years on something that you can go back and sue someone on. And this is where I always get confused when people bring things up from years and years ago. We go back to Los Angeles now. A Los Angeles Lakers player. He's being sued for something that possibly could have happened in 1987. A woman is claiming he sexually assaulted her. That sure is a long time for someone to come forward, isn't it? Now, again, let me say this. I was not there. You were not there. But that's a long time ago, 30-plus years. That's a long time. We'll leave it at that. None of us know the answer to it. Anybody familiar with the group Three Doors Down? I think they're a rock band. The lead singer has been diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. He says he's going to make it. A little prayer will help him there, 3 doors down. So y'all keep him in your prayers. He needs that. He's taking a stand on prayer. I like that. We do have voter charges as we go to the state of Texas this morning. As people dig into this, a county judge, 2 city council members, and a former county election administrator are among Ken Paxton's targets as he evaluates election integrity. He is the Texas Attorney General. He says that they've broken the law, and he's pressing charges on this. Boy, this is going to be flooded. There's not as much interest into Bobby's assassination as it is JFK. But as we see the headlines this morning, 60,000 more files are going to be released on RFK's assassination. All of that was tied together, and I think we all know that. But 60,000 more files. Again, I'll say this, and I think if you step back, you're not going to find a lot of things in these files that show or tell anything. The reason being, it was never put in the file. Think about that. Do you really think on JFK they ever wrote down what really happened? Can't be traced if it's not written down, can it? It's not there. You're not going to find it. You may get a clue to something here and there that somebody asks a question, but it's not going to be any real answers there. Never will. We can forget that, finding the truth on that. Interest rates are holding steady. The feds are not going to drop it. Trump has urged, and they're not biting. They're holding them steady to where they are. How could people be so mean? We go to Oregon here. When something is not touching you, bothering you, why mess with it? Now, I'm not one of those, I'm not a tree hugger by any means, and you know what I mean by that. But when someone harms something that can't protect itself, it does bother me. As we see that a baby seal was stabbed over and over on a beach. Why? What did that do to them? They're searching for the person that may have done it. There's not cameras there. I don't know if they'll ever find out who done that. It just boils down to downright meanness is what that is. We're expecting a big announcement today. Have y'all seen this? A trade deal. Looks like it's going to come through with the UK, and that should be announced later today from President Trump. That's step one. Hope this starts a trend of things working out. I don't know that this is, I see both sides of this. I know that when the coal plant, and there's not a person here that doesn't know the truth of this, when the coal plant came here and we had a lot of people come to town, rent went up. The average people that lived in our area could no longer rent a house because, well, they skyrocketed. They were after the people that got per diem. They're looking at, in the state of Washington, the governor trying to sign a bill to where you can only charge so much for rent. Now, again, there's two sides to this. This is America. You can charge what you want. You should never be governed and told you can't charge more than such and such. I understand when you're trying to pay rent, it's tough. But I think back to the Meridian days when it was called, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's greed.
And some of it's supply and demand.
Supply and demand has a lot, but there was a lot of greed here. It was greed, and we all know that houses that were being rented for $450 went to $1,200. We know that. And it was greed because they knew they could get it. I'm not running it down, and it is supply and demand, as Odie just pointed out over there. We can't control that. It's what the market is willing to pay. It's like new cars. When after COVID they went up to astronomical prices, they never came down. Why? America kept buying them. Should you stop and go, I'm not doing it anymore, prices will come down. That's normally how that happens.
And get rid of the union.
I had never heard of this. In my lifetime, personally, I've only known 1 to 5 probably sets of twins. I've never bumped into that. I'm sure that they have a lot of, what do you call those, conventions to where twins go and everybody looks like one another. But a high school in California, 28 sets of twins graduating in the same class. Now, some's got to be in the water out there. I don't know how that came to be, but 28 of them. Clovis North High School, Fresno, California. Ain't that something? 20.
He's got
20.
twins, and her sister's got twins.
Odie's wife has got twins. She's got twins, and then her sister. It runs in the family.
Yep,
Is
mom.
of the. I don't know how that all works there, but and we got one in the police department here in Meridian.
2 of them. They look just like one.
And sometimes you have twins that don't look alike, and I guess they call it identical twins when you really got to stare at somebody to go. You've been there. And we all have all heard the jokes of where somebody would accidentally go out with the wrong sister because it's mistakes. The next pope, it will take 89 votes to get him elected. That's going to be the majority. 89 is what they're looking for. We got black smoke yesterday. No one is elected. We're waiting on
Swipe.
some white smoke to come out of there for the election of a new one there.
2 this morning and 2 votes this afternoon.
Two votes today.
Yep.
One in the morning, one in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, 4.
4.
2 this morning and 2
Okay, 2 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens to that. Let's see. $200 a night. Aaron B. next door to me gets $200 a night. That's about what a hotel costs now.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people that do this. If you've ever traveled, you can go online to these and rent someone's home. Do you feel safer doing that or at a hotel? It is becoming more and more popular to rent that. Well, what was that movie? European Vacation?
Yeah.
They showed up at the wrong place and stayed. They took them in. But that seems to be working there. So it's up to you if you still want to do that. But there is, as Rick said, there's a lot of greed in this world, but supply and demand pushes that. It's just what you can deal with. No man is ever going to be able to, like you did in the 50s and 60s, support your family off of minimum wage. Things have just changed so much in America. There's no way it'll ever happen. Utah judge is getting ready to decide whether a convicted killer with dementia can be executed. Did he have it when all that happened? I'll let you think on that. What else is happening this morning? I don't agree with this, and often you hear me complaining. I call it a complaint. Sometimes it makes you feel good to complain.
Yeah.
I feel that our justice systems is sometimes filled with lawsuits that are frivolous. This is one of them. Burger King is being sued. You want to know why? Because someone thinks that the hamburger on television and the one that you get in your hand looks a little different. So they're suing over the size of the burger that's in the ad as to what you actually get. They're saying it's fake. Somebody didn't have, in the two pictures side by side, you'd have to have a magnifying glass to decide if one is taller than the other. It isn't like, in my opinion, where you advertise a Cadillac and you get down there and it's a Vega sitting there that you're going to get. Sounds as though someone just didn't have anything to do that day.
Somebody got a bunch of trophies for not doing that.
Yeah, trophies as they call that. I just and our court systems are filled with things like that, to where there are people who need to be there who were wrong that need a right. And we've got anyway. Boardwalk Empire. Did anybody ever watch that? That was a Netflix show, pretty good there, and it was a show about how prohibition led to these outfits that made a lot of money off liquor. One of the stars of it, Michael Pitt, has been arrested and charged with sexual abuse. It's a pretty good show if you've not watched it. Boardwalk Empire. Do y'all remember watching Con Air?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the guy that had that was locked in the cage that was so bad? He's the star of that show that had the mask on. That's who stars in it. And I almost called his name from it. It's been so long since I've seen it. 3 Memphis police officers have been cleared of those charges of guilty. They were found not guilty yesterday on the state charges of the beating death of an inmate that had been arrested. All 3 of them cleared. There was 5 involved. 2, I think, have already pled guilty for their role in it. 3 cleared. We'll be right back with your forecast as we get this morning underway. Boy, I see the sunshine almost peeking through the tree line out there past my window. We'll be right back.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Celebrating our 7-year anniversary, Al's Garden and Gift is excited to bring you the beautiful colors of spring to your home. So many bedding and vegetable plants, hanging baskets, roses, and other plants that will bring on the colors of spring. It's the perfect time to spend in the yard. Spruce up lawn and flower beds with fresh sod, mulch soils, and pine straw. Then brighten your day with unique gifts in the shop. Spring is here at Al's Garden and Gift. Bloom with happiness.
Welcome back. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows, it was 2002 on this day back in 92. 1890, you got to go way back for this one. 41 was a record set on that date. We didn't get anything from Jackson today of a little map there to show us what was happening, so we moved right on to Alabama. 84 is what we're expecting there, those mid-80s, 83 around Birmingham. And as you'll see, larger chances of rain as you get further north toward that Tennessee line there. Gadsden about 84, Hamilton at 81. And as we go south, we'll see 84 there around Auburn. And as you get to Demopolis, it gets clearer and clearer. We've got that fog this morning that we were looking at there. Visibility is tough, and this should last till about 9 a.m. this morning. Be careful as you're out and about. As we glance here, this is what we've got with the severity of weather, and again, we think this will probably change with the forecast adjusting a little bit. Even on my radar, it hadn't been adjusted just yet. National Weather Service doing this, a level 1 throughout the area. Again, the Meridian area has dropped to a 20% chance of showers during the daytime hours. As we look across here, here's temperatures very hot in mid-Texas there, and it will make its way toward the Meridian area eventually there. We've got 84 today, 79 tomorrow with a 60% chance of showers, and we'll have large chances of rain all the way through Monday with a 70% then. Then they start backing down on Tuesday, and look at this, Wednesday a 10% chance. Let's go all the way through May the 22nd. Look at that, 83. We're going to have mid-80s for most parts there. Around the 15th, a high of 88. Could get up to 87 there. So we're at a comfortable point in the 80s right now. July is going to be different. August will be unbearable. As we look to our fishing forecast, here's what we've got today. Southeast wind 5 to 10. Major times to fish this morning is going to be at 9 o'clock this morning till about 11. You'll have a minor time this afternoon around 4. We had sunrise at 6:01 today. Isn't it gorgeous out there? Sunset will make it all the way to 7:41 this afternoon. Each day we're getting a little bit more time to do things around the house after you get in. Makes you a happier person. Daylight does. All bad things are kind of held up in darkness, aren't they? Not to say evil can't float during the day, but boy, I sure like me some sunshine there. Good morning. Good morning, Sue. We'll be right back. We're going to be back live in just about 3 minutes with the morning show. Join us, won't you? We're going to talk about everything that went on yesterday. And it was a lot, let me tell you. Some things I can't explain, some things I saw, a lot of things we'll talk about it. All coming up in just a moment. And we're going to have to congratulate some folks that saved some folks. Nothing like a good ending to a story, and we had that yesterday. All of that and the details coming up at 7 at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.